This is Street Man Sam, and this is the story so far regarding my forthcoming single, No Cross to Bear. The song is written for my beloved Nan Kath, who passed away last year, and it's written from like my nan's point of view of speaking to the family from heaven and telling us to, you know, go grab our chances in life and encourage us as she always did when she was alive, bless her. I'm going to do a little video to show you how the music come about, my guitar, and another video, but I wanted this video just to be, you know, my nan, because she was one of the most important people in my life ever, and huge influence, you know, with me and the family. She was our governor. And yeah, as I say, I spent a lot of time growing up with my nan and granddad, and in Peckham, and they lived in the same house for over 40 years, you know, for as long as I've been alive, and it was a family base, you know, and as you can imagine, that old school sort of family base, and, you know, all the Christmases and birthdays and all, just everything, you know. It's got the greatest of memories. I actually lived with my nan and granddad between the ages of 19 and 21. But yeah, my nan was a strong character, and you know, she survived heart attacks, cancer, she had glaucoma in her eyes in the later years, bless her, and but a real strong character, you know, old school. They don't make them like that anymore. And you know, my nan's door was always open for the grandkids, even if you'd annoyed one of her daughters and she wouldn't be happy with you, but you know, there was always a place to stay, and nearly all the family, the grandkids and other cousins have stayed there, you know, at one point. And there was always a sandwich and a chocolate roll in the fridge, and you know, a place to stay, bless her, for my granddad. And if you was lucky enough to be at my nan's on the night she was making stew, legendary. Honestly, my nan's stew was superb. And you know, my nan was much loved outside of her family as well, you know, much loved and respected. And she had 3 daughters, her and my granddad, and many grandkids and great grandkids. She was a beloved sister and auntie. And yeah, she lost some siblings during her life, 3 siblings, you know, which hit my nan hard. But you know, she always kept her religious faith. You know, myself, I'm not a religious person, but my nan never pushed it on it. You know, but she always had her faith. And you know, when she was ill, you know, actually in her last stages of her life, she had a bad stroke at the end of 2019 and never recovered, really, and was in hospital for 10 weeks. And you know, the priest would come up and you know, and he did give her a final blessing, because after a while the doctors said to us that there was nothing more they could do for my nan. And my family decided to bring her home and care for her there in her last stages. And I'm glad we did, because that was about 3 weeks just before COVID hit in March 2020, and you know, all the hospitals stopped visiting, you know, and we was up there every day. You know, there was only 4 people around the bed allowed, but I counted at one point there was 16 of us in the waiting room, you know. And you know, my heart goes out to the people that had people, family and friends in hospital that they couldn't visit during that time, because I just can't imagine how tough and how hard that must have been for you all. And I just want to say a quick shout out to everyone in the NHS who works there and who worked during COVID and the pandemic, but also the people who worked on the King's College stroke ward in Denmark Hill in South London, because how them people work on them wards, I'll never know. You know, you're dealing with very sick people and the patients, but also the emotion of the families, you know, around. And I was very emotional, and as was a lot of my family, you know, and my heart goes out to them people, because when, you know, COVID hit and it was only them and the patients, you know, their job must have been a lot harder. But yeah, my nan was, you know, was able to come home and pass away in her own home, you know, surrounded by her daughters that morning. And you know, my granddad was there, and yeah, it's a huge loss for the family. You know, I'm still grieving for my nan, and you know, as I say, she was a major influence in my life. And when I started writing this song, the lyrics came about. I actually wrote the chorus first, and I was just jamming on my acoustic and had some music, and the chorus came about. And I knew within the first few lines of the chorus, you know, what this song meant, you know, and I based it around, you know, that. And yeah, No Cross to Bear is my new single, and it's for my beloved Nan Kath, who was a major part of my life, and I love her very much, always will. So yeah, it's out Friday the 26th of November, so please go and support it. And yeah, thank you for everything. All the best.